Good morning, Dr. Eric Chong. Good morning, Dr. Howard. Good morning, Mr. Jason Lim. Alright, so this is the moment that you're waiting for. But before that, let's welcome Dr. Howard to give a welcome speech.
Better.
More professional.
Why? My look is not professional. Hello.
Oh, Liam.
My. Hello. Yang bahagia Datuk Eric Chong. All the Chesterian, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
Welcome to our TALK2U show. This is our first show. We call it TALK2U. Why? Because every month we organize some entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs like Datuk Eric Chong to come here to share with you, to increase your value, and they talk to you. When they talk to you means you have to sit down and listen. Be quiet, okay? Off your phone, okay? Yeah. For those who have listened to my speech before, I believe today you feel that my English is better, right? Because of arrogant. He texted me just now, he said, bro, don't speak broken English, you know. This spoil my reputation. So I try to be proper English, you know. So, without further ado, I pass the mic to MC to welcome Datuk Eric Chong. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Howard, for the wonderful welcome speech. Alright, before the speaker comes up, let me introduce a little bit about the speaker. Sorry, Dato', I don't have a British accent, huh? Well, he's a very well-known entrepreneur, educationalist, a writer, and a successful mentor. Okay. He studied American language for 27 years and assisted more than 300,000 learners of all ages from 20 different countries. Very impressive, Dato'. Branding at our Association of Malaysia, he has been playing a key role in fostering branding awareness within the Malaysian SME community. And now, he sits on the board of several public and private companies, including Media Chinese International Limited as a director. Advisor to Secretary of Advancement of Malaysian Entrepreneurs. Now, a very welcome to Dr. Eric Chong.
Sorry, Datuk.
Oh, can I just... All right.
So put in your pocket.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My really good friend, Datuk Howard. You know, one of the most stunning things that happened to me today, this morning, was that I just found out my old friend's age. My God, I mean, I thought he was in his early 40s. So I just found out that just moments ago that he's a young man. My God, I mean, he's so young. It's incredible. I think Chester as an organization, it's been around for 10 years. It's been one of the champions of Malaysian, property direction. And the fact that, the person sitting at the helm is this young seriously amazes me because this company's been around for 10 years. So I think he's a really early starter. I mean, this is amazing. Give Howard a big round of applause. So I thought I started young, but apparently I have a peer here, Well, I mean, I'm here today to talk to you because that's what I've been asked to do. So I'm here to talk. But what is there to talk about? Now, maybe, to give you a little bit of orientation, let me just tell you a little bit about me and about what I do, and then perhaps we'll talk a little bit about what you do. You see, I believe, as a person, I really believe in self-help. I believe people have tremendous potential, everybody. Everybody has got tremendous potential that can be unleashed if you allow it to be unleashed. I think most people live a life of deprivation because they simply do not understand that we come to this world for a purpose. Everybody is not by accident here. Biologically, maybe it is an accident. But why you? But why are you here? But why are you given 70, 80, 90, 100 years on earth? There has to be a reason, there has to be a purpose. And if you are religious, then you say, in my religion it means this. But if you're not a religious person, then it means there is a calling for everybody. And that's why in Chinese we say 天生我材 right? So everybody is born into a purpose. And so when I was young, I was not a very serious person. So when I was young, I was a very naughty boy. I think most boys are naughty, right? Some boys are naughtier than the rest, but most boys are naughty. And I was extremely naughty. I was pretty smart, actually. So I was a pretty good student when I first started out in primary school. I remember. Any Ipo Mari here? None. Fine. Okay, so I'm alone, right? No issue. So then I went to a Chinese school in Ipoh, Samtech. Anybody heard of Samtech? 三德和尚燒炮仗，燒唔着賴炮仗。And then 和尚冚你兩巴掌 and something like that. So that's Samtech. I was actually the top student of Samtech when I was in primary 1, you know, whole school number 1. That was good, right? Good start, right? Yeah. And then when I was in standard 2, I was the 5th in position. Good, right? Yeah. I mean, Samtech's a good school, right? It's the best school, the best Chinese school in Ipoh, right? And then primary 3, standard 3, you know, I was, 15th in the school. Not bad, right? Right, still not bad, okay. And standard 4, as you can see, it's a downward trend, you know. So standard 4, you know, I was probably 25, and standard 5, I started losing interest in school and all that. And so I failed my, back then, standard 6. Back then it was standard 5, remember? If you were much older than Datuk Howard. Anybody here much older than Datuk Howard?
Of course.
Okay, there are a few. So, if you were much older than him and a bit younger than me, then you will know that UPSR is a new thing, actually. Yeah, many years ago there was no UPSR. It was standard 5. Yeah, standard 5 检定考试的, remember? Yeah. So therefore I failed that and all that. But then, Newton became my sifu. You know Newton? What did Newton come up with? Newton said, the apples on the apple tree will fall. Is it correct? Gravitational pull, Newton's law. Is it correct? So Newton's law had a toll on me, and I started to fail in school. So from the top student, I became the worst in school. And And then after primary school, I went on to a Chinese independent school. Is a Duzhong, Tainan Duzhong in Ipoh. And you know what I did? I skipped school most of the time. Yeah, so when people went to school, I also went to school. But after that, I climbed out of the fence and I would go somewhere else. Yeah, I'm sure some of you did the same thing. And that's what I did for the first 3 years. And then when I got to Form 3, one fine day, I set my father down. So I said to my father, Dad, can you please sit down? I've got something to tell you. My father sat down and said, okay, son, what is that you want to say to me? I say, Father, be calm, but I'm going to quit school. And my father said, no. You are young. You are 15 years old. You can't quit school. Because what are you going to do? I said, no, but I like to be a farmer. I like to be a construction worker. You know why? Because, in our primary school, our teachers told us, 农夫很伟大。建筑工人很伟大，什么这个我们吃饭粒粒皆辛苦，有没有？ So I want to be I want to do something noble. I want to quit school and go into farming. And my father said, no, you can't do that. And then I said to my father, but you see, it's too late. Because I skipped all the exams. And it's not just the school exam. I skipped SRP. Back then it was SRP, and then it was PMR. Now no more. Now PT3, right? I skipped SRP, the entire SRP I skipped. And then my father said, okay, no issue, because you're Duzhongsen, you have, the Duzhong Tongkao ma, I said, even that I skipped. I skipped everything. And so then my father said to me, still, you need to go to school. So if Malaysia cannot accommodate you, you will go overseas. I was like, wow, overseas sounds fun. So let's go overseas. So I asked my father, would it be the US or the UK? My father said, Singapore. I'm like, what do you mean Singapore? Singapore is so near. It's not overseas. No, it's a foreign country, you see. Okay, that's fine. Then I went to Singapore. Then my father asked me, which school would you like to apply to in Singapore? And I was like, okay, 要做就做最好的, So I said, okay, let's go to the best school. What's the best school in Singapore? Raffles Institute. Oh, 来佛士书坊. That's Lee Kuan Yew School. Okay, let's go there, So we were knocking on the, on the main entrance of Raffles for half a day. Nobody opened the gate, you see. So we thought maybe it's tough. Let's go to the second best school and all that. And after about 10 schools, I realized no Singapore schools would take me. And so then we decided to call it quit, because no schools would even open the door for me. And so, if you don't mind, I take out my... well, it is... Oh, okay. It is not hot, actually. It is the hospitality. It's not hot. Now, so then we decided to call it quit, because my father got so disappointed, so discouraged. He decided to just take me back to Malaysia and allow me to become a farmer or a construction worker. And so we were walking, I remember it was Newton's Hawker Center. You know Newton in Singapore? Newton 小贩中心啊. You know? So we were walking there, with our head really, bowed really low and all that. And then suddenly, there came a friend of my father, right? So the guy said to my father, hey, Lao Zhang, why do you guys look so sad? Father and son, like 垂头丧气啦, And then my father said, my poor son, no schools will take him, And so now we got to go back to Malaysia, and he's going to become a construction worker, you know. And then the guy said, no, come on, that's not the end of the world. Look up the hill. Looked up the hill, because there was a hill there behind Newton's circle, right? Looked up the hill. You see a building up there? We looked up there and go, yeah, there's a building up there. That building used to be a temple. And now it's a school. So the name is called Monk's Hill. You see, it used to be for monks and nuns, okay? And it became a school. And so it's called Monk's Hill High School. And the friend said to my father, I guarantee you, they will take you. Then we were really happy. We climbed up the hill, knocked on the door. The door was open. I was, given an entrance exam. So I sat there, did 3 papers, and after that, the principal asked my father to go into the room, and he said to my father, you know, Mr. Chong, your son, genius. My father's like, are you sure? What do you mean? What do you mean genius? I said, yeah, genius. You see, this paper, Chinese paper, the 3 papers. Chinese paper, 100%. 100分. Genius. You know, seriously, Malaysian Chinese standard is much higher than the Singapore Chinese standard, especially when it comes to English school. Their level is really low. Our level, you know, 华小的 and then 读中的, our level is way up there actually. Hey, we speak like 古人, you know. Hey, come on, we speak 文言文的, you know. So those guys, their level is really low, you know. So therefore, 100, so what? Okay, then it's just math. Look at that! Wow, another 100. Oh, and then my father was so amazed until he looked at the papers, like, oh, like that only, yeah, you know. So if I think you can score 100 as well. Let me just ask you, what is 2 plus 3? What's that? Okay, then you have a chance of getting 100 as well, right? And so we're really happy. And we're really excited. And my father just asked the principal, so when can my son start? And the principal said, I'm sorry, we are not taking your son. My father said, but you just said my son was a genius and he's got 200. Why are you not taking my son? And he said, that's because his English really sucks. And then he showed my father my English test. 30%. So, really bad. And therefore, you know, my school is an English school, you know, so this kind of English cannot survive, and so you cannot come in and all that. And then my father begged, please help. My poor son needs education. And then finally, Mr. Tan said, okay, fine, okay. Today is a good day, I limp, you know, in a good mood today, so I'm going to help you, right? Okay, so I will take your son, but I've got 2, conditions, right? One, you know, Mr. Chong, we are expanding and now we are running short on, you know. So my father says, yeah, I know. How much? I said, not much, we only want this. My father said, okay, 200, I'll give. He says, no, Mr. Chong, sorry, not 200, 2,000. And my father said, okay, fine, 2,000 I give. Hey, back then, you're talking about 35 years ago, right? Malaysian ringgit to Sing dollars. Back then, 1 to, no! 1 to 1.1. 1 ringgit Sing, $1 Sing is 1.1 ringgit back then. So, hey, 2,000 means 2.2, no issue. And then father said, okay, no problem. And then he said, okay, what is your second requirement? He says, okay, your son cannot move up to the next level. He's got to be demoted. He cannot even stay at the same level. He's got to be demoted. So then my father said, okay, fine. And then, then I got into the school. So the first day of school, I was sitting there, and I found myself surrounded by kids. Because I was 2 years older. I was 16 years old. I was in the class of 14 years old. And these kids were running around and all that and speaking in a language I could not understand. Because back then I couldn't speak a word of English, right? So then the teacher came in. And I was a late comer. So it was 2 weeks after the semester started. And so the teacher said to the class, okay, there's a new student here today, right? Will the new student please stand up? So I was sitting there wondering why Singaporean students are so rude. Teacher talking to you, nobody responds. And so the teacher looks around and nobody responds, and the teacher asks the question.